Yeah, I said good afternoon, class. And this is Tosin, and I'll be your facilitator, your tutor for literature class in the coming weeks. And I am ready to help you get prepared for your upcoming examination. Now, break the myth. Literature in English is a very difficult subject, and that people find it difficult to pass. I will put it to you straight that if you have this mindset, definitely have a problem. Students with this mindset will have a problem. I'm assuring you that literature is as easy and it's as simple as all other subjects.
Hello.
That you enjoy. Prepared, you should have.
Hello. Your network is really, can hardly hear you. And please, can you put on your camera? We can't hear you. You've not unmuted yourself. Yes, yeah, you can go ahead now.
Yes. So you have to break that myth that literature is a difficult subject to pass. Now, without wasting more time, because I can see we are 7 minutes behind schedule, without wasting more time, I want you to put it at the back of your mind that we are going to cover the literature curriculum for O-level examination within this short span of 3 months. And it's quite possible that we do that. It's quite possible. When by the time we go on with classes, you will realize that it's something easy to do. Knowing that this class is not for beginners, knowing that this class is not for beginners, you are all familiar with what literature is. You are all familiar with the 3 genres of literature. That is the framework. That is the framework for which anything as regards literature that you would learn, let me say for O-level, that is the framework for everything you will do as regards literature. So you should you should still remember all this, all the forms of literature. These classifications of fictions, classification of prose into fiction and non-fiction, classification of drama and the likes, all these elements, everything, have it at the back of your mind. So basically, I'm going straight into literary analysis. I'm going straight into literary analysis. And today, I think we should begin with, should we begin with an African or a non-African poem? I want us to do something we can begin and finish in just a little time. So today, let's look at an African poem titled "A Government Driver." on his retirement. A government driver on his retirement is written by Chibuike Onu. It's written by Chibuike Onu. He studied industrial chemistry at the Abia State University, and he's the registrar at the Department of Surgery. That means he is into medical science, and yet he is a poet. Now, the title of the poem gives its meaning. It gives its meaning directly to us. If we look at the title, "A Government Driver on His Retirement," that means the poetic persona that is the object or the subject of discourse in this poem is a driver. And it's not just any driver. He's not a public driver. He's not a private driver. He is not a bus driver. He is modified as what? As being a government driver. And as regards setting, and information given to us from the title of this poem is that what happens to this driver happened when? When? That is the temporal setting, giving us information about the time. It's happened on his retirement. Now let's look at the poem before I give you a background of what the poem is all about. The poem begins this way. The poem is a 33-line poem, and it is divided into 7 stanzas. It is divided into 7 stanzas, and it is a narrative poem. It tells us a story of a government driver who had served for 35 years. He had served for 35 years, and out of these 35 years, 30 years out of the 35 years is undented. He had no blemish. He had never been found wanting for 30 years out of the 35 faithful years of which he served the government. Now, upon his retirement, he, being a driver, there are some rules. There are some driving rules that you're expected to take to. And one major thing that this poem hammered on was the drink drive culture. As a driver, you are expected, don't drink while you are driving, or don't drive if you know you are drinking. You are not expected to do that. So he had served the government for what? For 35 years. Now he is retiring. And in his bid to celebrate his retirement, he had called on friends. He had called on well-wishers. He had called on relatives and the likes that they should come and celebrate his retirement. They should come and celebrate his retirement with him. And on the event of his retirement, he was gifted a car. He was gifted a brand new car. He was gifted a brand new car. And during the party, he drank, he boozed a lot. Everything, he was in frenzy with friends. And eventually, when the party was over, and while driving himself home, what happened to him? He lost his life. He died. He died in a car crash. He died in an auto crash. So let me read the poem to you. Many years on wheels, in faithful service to his fatherland, today retires he home, and a celebration he holds. Many years as he pummeled his boozy truth in obedience to duty rules and regulations. Today, he will go home a free man, eligible for his country's services. Come, friends, rejoice with me. I shall booze and zoom myself home, away from duty rules. Come, celebrate my freedom. Elu to duty, tomorrow holds not. 35 years of faithful services, I will booze to sleep away my sufferings. Today, I have long waited for. More joy to send him home, a brand new car in his name, an appreciative symbol. For undented 30 years of service to fatherland. Come, friends, and rejoice more. joy till no more joy to joy. Today frees and makes me a king, my patience rewarded. And so he boozed and boozed, celebrating this celebration of his retirement from faithful service to fatherland. He battled with his bottled booze on his way home on wheels. Booze boost his vision and clear judgment. He boomed his brand new car and it sent him home to rest in peace. Now, one thing you should get familiar with, it is quite sad. This is quite sad. You would see that the ending of the poem is quite, the ending of the poem is quite tragic. Mm? The ending of the poem is quite tragic. Now, looking at this poem, you can see that there is a case of, let me do the line by line analysis. Let me do the line by line analysis so that you may understand. So he said, the first stanza here said, many years on wheels. Now you already know the number of years that the government driver had spent in active service, in faithful service to his fatherland. He is faithful. That is to tell you that quite unlike what is obtainable when someone is into a government job these days, you can see that the commitment and the dedication is not always there. And it's always in all, virtually, it's all in every government ministry. When you get to the government hospital, you can see the non-negligence act from nurses and doctors. You get to schools, you see teachers, they don't want to teach. They would rather prefer to give the students something else to do. You can see, like in public school, come to my house, come and fetch water, come and do that. You see some people working in the ministry, out of 5 working days in a week, they might go there twice. They might go there 3 times or 2 times in a week, and they would resume late in office and they will leave early. And yet at the end of the month, they get their salary. So the case of this government driver is not like that. He is what? He is a faithful what? He is a faithful government driver. And he was what? He was diligent and committed to his work in his service to his fatherland. Now he is retiring home. He has retired. Let me put it that way. I think it's best put that way. He has retired, and he is holding, just like what is obtainable. Some of us might have grandparents or parents who have retired. You would see them, instead of, at times they might be the one to throw the party for themselves. At times it would be their office, it would be their institution that would what? That would throw a retirement party for them. It is their company that will throw the retirement party for them, and there would be there would be festivities. There will be drinking, wining, and dining. There will be wining and dining, and there would be admonition notes and messages, well wishes from what? From co-workers, senior workers, junior workers, and friends. So in celebrating this, he decided to hold a celebration. He decided to hold a celebration. So many years as he pummeled his boozy throat. I think I should have shared the poem, a copy of the poem with you, but I want to believe that every one of you have an access to these poems already. You have an access to this poem, but however, subsequently, if you do not have an access to the poems or any of the text that we would be treating, I would prefer that you signify, you let me know. So many years as he pummeled his boozy throat. Pummeled his boozy throat means he has stabbed his throat. You know, there are some professions, there are some occupations you would be into, and there are some things that would become so difficult for you to do. Imagine a government driver, after closing at work, now going to the bar and drinking him or herself to stupor. Yet he is supposed to what? He is supposed to resume to work very early the next day. Eh? Go to the boss's house, go to the boss house to go and pick the boss. Now imagine someone who has drank himself or herself to stupor. The person won't be able to stay committed. The person would definitely fumble one day. And now that we've never heard of this government driver who is so what? Who is so faithful to his fatherland. So in obedience to duty rules and regulations, you know, as a driver, you are not expected to drink. So his throat demands that he drinks. Now, get it right. Circumstances that would warrant that someone shouldn't drink varies. Some people, in their culture, they do not believe or they do not support drinking. Some people, their religion, it's not as if they cannot drink, but it is forbidden in their religion. In some religion, you can take, it's kind of, we are not going into that. They say you can take wine, but you can't take alcohol, or you can take this, you can't take that. Or there are some particular types of drinks that you can take, and there are also some that you cannot take. But this is not the case with this government driver. This is not the case with this government driver. In his own case, he is only being obedient to what? To duty rules and regulation, as we have it in line 6. However, today he will go home a free man. That means all these years he had stayed away from drinking. All these years he had stayed faithful to the service of his fatherland. He sees himself, he had seen himself as someone in bondage. Let me put it that way. Because line 7 says, today he will go home a free man. That means all these years while he had been working with the government as a driver, he had seen himself as an enchained man, a man in captive. He is in the captivity of his work. Not that he really enjoyed the nature of his work, but because he has no option. But because he has no option. That is why he had to stay away from what? From drinking. So today he sees himself as a free man who is able to do whatever he so wishes to do with wine, with beer, with alcohol, with drinks. And so many other things which he believed he had been deprived of in these many years of faithful services. So eligible for his country services. He's going home a free man today, and he is receiving a commendation for his what? For his many years of faithful service to the country. Now, this is the poetic persona speaking in the third stanza, saying, "Come, friends, rejoice with me. I shall booze and zoom myself home." You can see the this is what we call onomatopoeia. You can see the use of sound. I shall booze and zoom myself home. That is, what is that? He will be combining two activities which he shouldn't have tried. He shall booze, that is, drink. And after that, zoom, that is, he will drive. So these are onomatopoeia. He will booze And after boozing, he will also what? He will zoom himself home. Two culture, two things which he shouldn't even have tried doing at the same time. And what comes after it in the third stanza, that is line 11, away from duty rules. Because while he is on duty, it is expected. This he never tried as well. He never tried drinking. He never tried drinking and drinking while he is supposed to what? While he's supposed to drive. So come celebrate my freedom. We can easily also quickly allude this situation to the period of colonialism. We can take this to the period of colonialism, when the country, let's take Nigeria as a case study, when Nigeria was a colony of British, or of the British. When Nigeria was a colony of the British, Nigeria, I think since 18, in the late 1880s, the whites have been in Nigeria. In the late 1880s, they've been in Nigeria. Now, Nigeria was Nigeria happened to be a colony to the British for so many years. And you know what being a colony is? That is, we are not independent. We are not what? We are not independent. We are more like in captive of the whites. Yeah. Then eventually, a time come around in 1960, and Nigeria became independent. And now you would think that with this many years of Nigeria being a colony of the British, and with so many agitations and movements for independence, you can see so many Pan-Africanist movements, formation of political parties, formation of newspapers and the likes to demand to demand for the country's independence from the Britain. You would actually think that by the time that this country, Nigeria, eventually gain independence, they already have a blueprint. They already have a blueprint to ensure that things are rightly done, and that in just few years, there would be rapid development, economic and social development in the country. However, look at it, Nigeria is just a dying state as it is now. Nigeria is a dying state as it is now. Some 60, 61 or 62 years after independence, we are still crawling. We are still crawling. A 60-year-old man who is still crawling. Now tell me, when will a 60, 61-year-old man walk? That is the case of Nigeria too. So this government driver as well believed that all these years while he was serving the government, he is in captive. I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. He believed he is in captive, and he believed that this event of his retirement and this celebration that he holds sets him free, that now he would become a what? He would become a free man, eligible for his country's services. Now he had invited friends, and no more duty rules. No more duty rule means come celebrate my freedom. You can see that there is the word freedom is being for granted. In stanza 2, it says, today he will go home a free man. Stanza 3, again, you will see in line 4 of stanza 3, it says, come celebrate my what? Come celebrate my freedom. You can see that this word freedom is being for granted. Why is he calling on people? Why is he calling on friends to come and celebrate and rejoice with him? He says, early to duty tomorrow holds not. So there is nothing like, be careful of what you take, or maybe that tomorrow morning he is resuming back to office. No, there is nothing as such again. He is no longer resuming what? He is no longer resuming to to office tomorrow. So early to duty tomorrow holds not 30 years of faithful services. I will booze to sleep away my sufferings. He believed he had suffered for donkey years, for 35 years of faithful services, and now he will booze. You know, some people have this belief. They do say that drinking, I don't know, you might have heard it before. Some people say they take beer or they take alcohol to serve as antidepressant. When they find themselves in a problem, when they are moody, when they are bored, when they are faced with what? Difficult challenges, they would say that they will take beer, that they do take beer. I don't know how true it is. They say that they take beer and beer helps them refreshing. It helps them refreshing their mind. It temporarily sends their pains and sorrows away. So this driver, government driver, is also believing the same. That what?
Mr. Tosin,
yes?
you have less than 10 minutes.
Yes, I'll round up now. Yes. So I will what? Booze to sleep away my sufferings. Today I have long waited for. That is, he could have desired, he could have resigned from the job long ago. He knew he was suffering. But you know, when you, just like the case, just like what is obtainable in so many government officers or government workers, it's not as if some of them really enjoy their job. They just want to serve for what? For longer years, because of what? Because of pension, because of gratuity that will be paid to them as a token upon the event of their retirement. Now, to make this thing more interesting, while celebrating his retirement, he has been given what? He has been given a brand new car. More joy to send him home, a brand new car in his what? A brand new car in his name. An appreciative symbol for undented 30 years of service to fatherland. So he is being celebrated with a what? With a brand new car. Now, this is another thing we should look at. We should critically ask ourselves: must government officials, must they resign before they are being celebrated? That's a question for all. Must they resign? Must they spend 30, 40 years? Must they resign before they are being celebrated? Why can't they be celebrated yearly? Why can't they be celebrated in every 5 years, every decade? Or when they do something worthy of celebration, must they wait until when they are old, when someone is already 65, 70, before you give them a car? Whereas when they are actively serving in the government, maybe they will trek, they will have to trek, they will have to get, they will have to take public transport, buses and the likes before getting to their workplace. Now, when they are already 65, 70 and they are retiring, is that supposed to be the right time when they should be given what? They should be given a car. Now, we have less than 7 more minutes. Now, let me quickly round this up. He said, again, you can see the repetition of the first line that in stanza 3, it is being repeated again in stanza 5. He said, come, friends, and rejoice more. Joy till no more joy to joy. You can see pun there. You can see the poetic persona playing on words. Yeah? And this old stanza is a quote, just like stanza 3 also. Come, friends, and rejoice more. This is the poetic persona speaking. Joy till no more joy to joy. Joy, that is, they should be happy until there is nothing more to celebrate. They start celebration during the daytime and they won't finish until what? They won't finish until the night. And at least, once it is night, different people who have come to celebrate with him will have to return back to their various places. So today frees me and makes me a king. My patience rewarded. He has been rewarded for his patience for these donkey years, and he has been given a brand new car. So he boozed and boozed. So that is, he keep on drinking. He kept drinking, celebrating the celebration of his retirement. You can see the playing on words there. From faithful service to fatherland, he battled with his bottle booze. That is, he kept on drinking. And on his way home on wheels, on the brand new car, you can see on wheels here, just like it is used in the first line, many years on wheels, is also when you use a part to represent a whole, that is synecdoche. So wheels there is his bottle booze on his that is drained, things become blurry to him. He could not, and this affected his clear judgment. So he boomed. That's also onomatopoeia, an alliteration, repetition of the consonant and b. You can see. He drank his car in an auto crash and it sent him home. Now look at the metaphoric use of home there. Or let's say his grave. Home there is referred to as heaven, or let's say his grave, and home to what? To rest in what? To rest in peace. Now, I think the network is fluctuating. We still have three. Look, this certain should is also a Nigerian. He's a government driver, and you know, when job becomes something difficult, when people no longer see job, or when people cannot get the job that they desire, they take in jobs that they have no options. Maybe they do not like. It has a universal appeal. It could be anywhere. So let's say the setting is even though it is evidently set in Africa, in Nigeria, but the setting has a universal appeal in the sense that a driver could be anywhere in the world, and a driver is not expected to drink. And a driver is not expected to drink. And if a driver should drink, among the things that can happen to them is what? Is an auto crash. It can lead to their what? It can lead to their death. Now, without wasting time, now let's look at the themes. The poem has directly given its themes to us. So some thematic preoccupation that we have in this poem is what? One, reward for meritorious service. When you serve merit, when you are good at what you do, you will be commended. That is why for his 35 years of active service, he was what? He was celebrated and he was given a brand new car. Theme number 2 is what? The danger of what? Drink and drive culture. You can see, when you drink, do not drive. When you drive, do not drink. He drove and drank. And what did he result to? It resulted into what? He boomed his brand new car and it sent him home to rest in what? Home to rest in peace. And another theme there is also what? The joy of retirement from public service. The joy of retirement from public service. When you've served, you can't overemphasize how joyful it is to be in public service and you are retiring hale and hearty, because there are so many other people that at the same point in time when you were given the job, they also got the job too, but as a result of one thing or the other, they died. They died while in active service. So to work with the government for so many years and retire hale and hearty, it is something that calls for what? It is something that calls that calls for joy. Now I would be rounding up here, and I would leave you with the responsibility of reading about checking the style and the language of use, the diction. You can see that the poem is very simple and accessible, quite unlike some other poems that you would need to get dictionary and start looking for the meaning of words and the likes. Even someone in elementary classes can easily understand this poem. When you drink, do not drive. When you drive, do not what? Do not drink. And the tone, when you look at the tone, it's in twos. At the beginning part, the tone